Hey, hello, welcome to another coffee talk. As we discussed last week,
an actual coffee talk.
An actual coffee talk, because we've got coffee, and as we discussed last week, we're branching out. So we're from A&W today, not a sponsor, but A&W, hello.
We have to specify.
We're just being clear. We are not paid, but no, actually, technically, Ursula's coffee was free. So they've got this thing, you get their app, they're trying to get you to get their app. I'm a sucker for something free, so they're like, free coffee. I'm like, okay, free coffee. I'll get your silly app. But here's the beef. And I you know what happened? I hope I figure out how to get it back. I was sent a survey to fill out on my experience of ordering, and I accidentally opened it and then closed it. So I hope I can get it back, because I specifically ordered one coffee to be 2 cream, 2 sugar, one coffee to be 1 cream, and one coffee to be black. And what did we get? 3 black coffees. And so
it's a safe choice too. I would say that as well.
I mean, sure, you can always doctor it at home in the office, assuming you have cream and sugar around,
but okay,
when you're not having coffee functions regularly.
So first taste. Since this is coffee talk.
Yes, absolutely.
First taste, I would say good but a little mild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't have bite.
So now do you...
Good. It's okay flavor, but...
Taste is subjective, entirely subjective. So do you like the bite?
I do like the bite.
Yeah.
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 Because if I could do like an Americano, which has some chutzpah.
Yes, absolutely.
Then you get more of a whole body variety flavor, whereas this does feel more like, okay, this is the one thing that we're shooting for, and this is what we got.
Right.
But there's no larger body.
No, absolutely.
It almost sounds like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
too.
I know. Or like you're married to a barista or something. But here's the thing. You gotta, I think, not rate it against an Americano. Right, that's a different class.
Right, yeah.
That's
okay.
You know, there's coffee. This is like, there's coffee and there's coffee, I guess. Like if you want if you're going for just something to accompany your breakfast, right? Just that I want something hot, caffeinated to sip. Then you got to consider, and by and large, mass produced.
That's true.
Right? Then you gotta throw this in with these Tim Hortons and the McDonald's.
Yeah, and it has to be consistent with everything.
Right.
Now, I would say as soon as you set it down, the smell, I enjoyed the smell. It was a really good smell.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But here's also
Unfortunately, you do more than just smell coffee.
You do taste it.
So they kind of fall down.
I would still prefer it over Tim Hortons.
Over Tim Hortons, but under McDonald's.
Okay, that's where it ranks for you.
That's where it's going, right there.
It's pretty close to McDonald's for me.
Really?
It might, depending on the day, it might edge it out. And depending on whether or not it's free, it might edge it out too. But they are...
that just bumps it up 3 notches.
You know what? It does. Like, let's be honest. That's the way it is for me. So if it's close... I will, now here's the thing, I will pay the extra $1 to get a Starbucks coffee, just a black, drip coffee over Tim Hortons, because I think the quality of coffee is that 100 cents more for me. Like, it's just worth it. Now, but if I'm thinking, I could go to McDonald's, I could go to A&W, and it's like, which one's cheaper?
Which one's cheaper? Yeah.
Then if that's where I'm just, that would edge it out for me.
Yeah.
But
I
don't think it is.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
so that's your coffee talk.
This is your coffee talk. The talking about coffee talk. That's not why you're here. That's not why we're actually hit record on this, because we can make up stuff about coffee anytime. We don't need to spend your time with it. But we want to talk about what's going on this week. And of course, it's, as we film this today, it's December 10th. Oh my goodness. It's snowing out. And my brain is like mush, as mushy as the road. Absolutely.
Like Remembrance Day.
Anyways,
so that's our
November.
That's what we were going to say. It's November 10th.
November 10th.
And we're filming this the day before Remembrance Day. Now,
Yeah.
there's no in-person
Not to my knowledge.
Remembrance Day
Yeah.
gatherings in our area. Probably national. I haven't looked into that, but that's the first thing that we would kind of say at the very outset is take some time tomorrow,
Yeah.
or if you're watching this later on in the week, hope you did take some time to reflect and to be thankful and to just pause and remember that that many people sacrifice themselves for what we believe is freedom and what we believe is right and true. And so it's really a moment of kind of thanksgiving. And I think we can't escape that fact that when people serve us, the appropriate response is thanks. And when they even go to the edge of that and say, I'm willing to give my life, that's huge.
Yeah, I know that the kids today are all at virtual Remembrance Day ceremonies with their schools.
Yeah.
And so there's also going to be, I heard on the radio this morning in Kelowna, they've recorded a service, or are today recording a service that'll be uploaded online somewhere. I didn't get the details on it because I was paying attention to traffic, not the radio. But a little bit of searching, and I'm sure you'll be able to connect one. There's always, it's the national one is televised every year too, and I don't doubt a few others will be. And so encourage you to spend some time reflecting, whether that's in your own way or joining virtually to one of the services or through television or whatever, however you do that, connecting with the service that's going on. Mm-hmm. So that would be something for tomorrow. But looking ahead, we got a few other things on the horizon too. And certainly the ladies are preparing a Christmas experience, and so we invite you to go to the Church Center app or the church website and find out more information about that and sign up. We know that space is really limited this year. They're going to do kind of, my understanding is they're doing like 2 different sittings, and so you'll have a couple options there as to where you sign up. But don't delay, because that really will be limited. So
and planning that ahead, knowing what numbers will be there is really important too. So the more that people can kind of just say, okay, that's the day, we're just booking it off and we're taking it, and it's a really important thing even for connections to be made for a lot of people that maybe haven't seen each other in a while, and so that it stays safe. That's also why they're also making 2 different ones, and they put a cap on it. So this is not a free for all. This is not a
absolutely. But we want you to invite friends, right? It is a ladies' event. Invite your neighbors, invite your friends, your whoever to come to that. But don't leave it to the last minute, because I say we. I'm not going to be there. You just can't show up last minute, and it kind of makes me think the same goes for Sunday mornings, right? We've been saying this for a long time. This last Sunday we were full, which is awesome. I kind of expect that we probably will be this upcoming Sunday too, unless it's still snowing. So really go online, go to the app, sign up and register so that you can have a seat. And we would, it's not just a huge part is about tracing, but it's not just the tracing. It's about making sure that we aren't squishing it out. Or squishing like the spacing. We're not sardining it. Even wasn't it Premier Horgan was yesterday just talking about how the numbers are limits, and they really want us to view it that way, as this is the maximum amount, but with a strong encouragement to dial it back from that. And that's what we've said all along. I feel like he just sort of watched one of our coffee talks and went, hey, that's a good plan. Because that's what we've been saying since, the summer. And so we want you to please sign up in advance. Earlier is better. You can already sign up now for Sunday and the Sunday after, I think. So do that. We'd love to spend time with you in here worshiping together. And so that's great. It also,
and one of the things that's happening this Sunday as well too is we're going to be dedicating shoe boxes, because that's this coming.
That's right.
Next week is kind of that whole gathering thing here on the west side, and so you can bring it here during during the week this week, up until Sunday. But after that, there's a drop-off location, and I believe it's Emmanuel Church.
Correct. Yeah, that's my understanding too.
And so after Sunday, you have to drop your shoeboxes off at Emmanuel Church, and so this Sunday is kind of just like that big pause and saying, God, would you do something amazing through all of this, and just kind of taking some time to dedicate that. And so it's really exciting for us to be able to be a part of that, and so that's this Sunday.
For sure. So just to be clear on those times when you can drop them off, it is Thursday and Friday. That's November 12 and 13.
Here at church.
Here at the church between 9 and 2. Okay, that's when the office is open, between 9 and 2 on Thursday and Friday, November 12 and 13. Or if you are coming Sunday morning, you can bring it Sunday morning when you come for the service, and we will gather them up. And so, if you come next week with a shoebox, we will very kindly and politely just ask that you take it directly yourself to Emmanuel. And but you know what? We'd love to have you bring it in Thursday and Friday. That would be wonderful. Yeah. Or Sunday as well. Yeah. And then we'll just include them all together and take them over next week. Yeah. So that's it. And yet another one of those, hey, Christmas is coming kind of things. We've got the snow, we've got the shoe boxes, and we've got requests, I think is maybe the best way to put it. But we've been contacted this week by the Salvation Army in West Kelowna, and they are organizing people to ring bells and man kettles. Yeah. And we know that in the past we've encouraged you to do that. Maybe this is the year that we actually go a little harder on it. Yeah. You know, with less happening at the church, maybe it's an opportunity for us to do more in the community. Yeah. And they have, do you remember what they said in terms of volunteer hours they're trying to fill? I saw it this morning.
12,000 hours?
Something like that. Yeah. It's a huge number of hours. And so, you know what? How great would it be if Lakeview took up like a big chunk of that? Yeah. And we, and that's not just obviously one Kettle site, but it's at multiple sites and multiple days. And let's really get out there and get involved and be cheery.
Yeah, and with that, I still, the way that they advertised it last year, that's now burned into my brain. The song that they did, 250-258 ring.
There you go. All right,
it's there.
They did a video last year. You referenced that. We're not going to replay that because they've put out a new video for this year. And I've watched it twice now, and I can't get that song out of my head. Thanks, Rob. All right. Anyways, we just can't sit on it ourselves, so we want to share it with you. And so check this out with more details. They'll give you the straight goods on how many hours they're trying to fill, and remind you that phone number that you can call in and book a few shifts, and strongly encourage you to get out there and do that.
Rob?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What are you doing?
Oh, practicing TikTok for Kettles.
TikTok? It's actually TIPTAP. You know, the cashless way to make a donation at the Kettle.
Really?
Yeah. It's new this year.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh my gosh, Lynetta, Cheryl is saying all this blah, blah, blah stuff. Jen's telling me about TIPTAP. What is going on?
Rob, it's really quite simple. This Christmas season, we have our kettles out. We have 1,200 volunteer shifts that need to be filled. If people want to volunteer, they can call 250-258-RING. Our goal this year is $255,000. At every Kettle, we'll accept debit, credit, and TIPTAP. And that will help us serve people at Christmas and all year long.
$255,000 to help people over Christmas and throughout the year? Come on, Henson. We can do that. We can double that with this dance.
Church, I want to see you out there at the Kettles, but I don't want to see you dancing like that. Can I just say that? You will not. If you find me at a Kettle, and I hope you will, I will not. Rob, if you're watching, I will not.
I think it's going to be a requirement that if you're coming from Lakeview, you have to do some kind of dancing at the Kettle. You know.
Do you have any idea how the Baptist in me hears that?
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, my dad.
Dance before the Lord, maybe.
You know, I wish Sheena was here to tell the story because I wasn't there when this happened. But back when Sheena was in, I want to say grade 12, like she was in high school. She was still in youth group. My parents were youth leaders, and one night at a youth event, she's kind of like dancing to the music. My dad just goes, "Tell you're not a Baptist." Like,
Baptist by adoption. We'll say that.
Now, this was years before Sheena and I started dating,
okay.
right? And just so we're clear on that, years before we started dating. And in those years that my parents knew Sheena before we started dating, I think my dad said like 7 words to her in all those years, just because he's not a man of many words. Can tell you're not a Baptist. Yeah, that's like 6 of the 7 words. Anyways, so there's part of me that just is going. Yeah. It's not that I don't want to. No, it is. I don't want to. But it's also I just can't, because if you've never, which is so funny because I know some of you are hearing this and you're like, wait, we've seen Joella in church. So there's a whole genetic side of things that. Anyways, we don't need to.
So we're really excited, and we just want to say, like, we would love if Lakeview really got behind that. And on top of that, you might even have some COVID questions in your mind. You saw that they had TAP at that spot as well too. So I think that's actually an awesome thing that is really pushing them to the next level, but also making them very aware of like where we're at, because we don't want to put you in harm's way, but we really need to be behind this, because it does a huge amount of good in our community. This is a church that we've worked with for many years, alongside in our Easter services, in all kinds of stuff, and we want to support not only the church but really the initiative behind it, which is connecting people with an organization that's going to help them point them to Christ, and they're going to do that just through simple basics. And I think that's a good start for us. And I think it would just be so good if we got behind that this Christmas. Yeah.
And on top of that, I mean, one of the things I'm hearing is that there's greater need this year. That's not a shocker, I'm sure, to anyone. So with greater need comes greater opportunity to help, and I think greater obligation to get involved. So, you know what, this is just one way you could get involved in the service. You might already have 2 or 3 other ideas. We would love to just not just release, but like really like encourage you and support you and however you're going to serve your community in the run up to Christmas. And we'd love for you to just be thinking this time of year, okay, there's less going on in my church building. What can I be doing outside? And if you need help with ideas, we'd love to help you come up with some more ideas. We'll as we come up with them, we'll pump them out here at Coffee Talk. But we want you to just get out there and then share. You know, I love hearing those regathering kind of stories. And so we'll you know, when we're in the halls, it's when you're coming to a service or whatever, then we can kind of share some of that. And it's just awesome ways to spend the Advent season, which is starting here very shortly. So want to leave that with you. Again, if you've got a grade 6, grade 7, or grade 8 student in your life, in your world, would love to spend Friday evening with them, 6:30 to 8:30 here at the church. Just one of the things that we're doing in youth ministry that is just probably good for everyone to know. So if you are sending someone along to that, we are going to start just with everything that's going on with, you know, COVID cases climbing. We'll just ask that you come along with a mask. That's all, and we'll get by hanging out masked. We did a little dodgeball with the youth last night. We were masked, and you know what? It's all right.
Yeah, and like, you know, all the other protocols are still being followed as well too. That's just one that we feel like it's going to be good. It's going to help more and more. So
Well, we had said to every group that using the building before, right? Whether you're a life group or youth group or whatever, that when you're in the narrow hallways and the common areas, mask up on your way in, and then when you get into the room and you're seated in your space, then take it off. But I think we're that last bit where we say, hey, take it off. We're not withdrawing, but we're kind of saying, you know what? Better leave it on. Mm-hmm. Better leave it on for now, even though you're kind of space. Just look to your right and your left and think about those who are around you and consider leaving that on.
Yeah.
So, and probably we'd say the same thing for other groups too. That you know what, as things are going the way they're going, you've all seen the news. Just leave it on. But we can still, thankfully, gather for religious services in BC, and so that's what we're doing. And so we hope to see you Sunday, and if not this week, next, and we will connect real soon.